Chapter 3 starts out with some polynomial division. So if you guys remember, we did division with the boxes. So x plus 1 goes on the outside, and this is on the inside. So we'll put x squared on the inside. So x times x is x squared, x times 1 is 1x. But we need on the inside a total of negative 9. So to make that negative 9, this would have to be negative 10x. So x times negative 10 is negative 10x. Negative 10 times 1 is negative 10, which this is what we want on the inside. So our answer is just x minus 10. The next one here, find the remainder. So this is another, let's see, box one. So we have 2x minus 1. The first thing that goes on the inside, 4x to the 4th. So that means this must be 2x cubed. So 2x cubed times negative x is negative 2x cubed. But we don't have any of those. We only have squared. So if we look at this, those have to equal 0. So we have 2x cubed. So 2x times what gives us 2x squared would be x. 2x cubed is x squared. X times 1 is negative 1x squared. But how many of these do we need on the inside? Let's see. Negative 9. So this has to be negative 8x squared. So 2 times what gives us negative 8 is negative 4x. Negative 4x times 1 is 4x, which that's what we want on the inside. So if we look at this next one here, that has to be our 4x. So this has to be 0x. So 2x times what gives you 0x? So that would be plus 0. 0 times negative 1 is 0. So what we need on the inside, our total has to be negative 3. So that means this has to be negative 3, which means our remainder is negative 3. Some solving rational equations. So we have to fraction bus this. So I might see, I know I need a 6x squared. And that would cover all of this. We could do, because if we multiply that in the top, so if you guys remember what we're doing, is we're really multiplying this into the numerator. So this is 1. We have 1 over 6x squared equals 1 over 3x squared. But what we're really doing is putting that 6x squared on top of each of these. So we'll notice this side is now just 1. X squared, 6 divided by 3 is 2. Let's see, xx, so minus 6x. So then if we solve this one, minus 2, negative 1 equals negative 6x, so x is 1/6. The next one here, a little trickier, we got to factor first. So this is x times x plus 1, x times x plus 1. So if we multiply our denominator, we got x and x plus 1. So if we multiply it into this first one, we just have x plus 5. Multiply it into the second one, we just have 1. Minus, multiply it in here, we'd have x minus 6 times x. So now here's the equation we have to solve. So this is x plus 5 equals 1 minus, if we distribute here, x squared minus 6x. So x plus 5 equals 1 minus x squared plus 6x. Set this equal to 0, minus 6x minus 6x minus 1 plus x squared plus x squared. So now this side we have x squared minus 5x plus 4 equals 0. So this factors into x minus 4, x minus 1 equals 0. So you have x equaling 4 and x equaling 1. So decomposing into partial fractions. This was where the first thing we had to do was we had to factor at the bottom. So we have x squared, 2x squared, 5x, negative 3. So 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. So 6 and negative 1 to get 5. So we got 2x times x plus 3 minus 1. So we have 6x squared plus x minus 2 divided by x plus 3, 2x minus 1 equals a over x plus 3 plus b over 2x minus 1. If we fraction bust this, x plus 3, x, 2x minus 1. So we have 6x squared plus x minus 2, a times 2x minus 1, b times x plus 3. And this is where we did those cases. So our first case, what makes this first parenthesis 0? So that's going to be when x equals half. Oh geez, this one's really messy. So 6 times half squared plus half minus 2. The a would go away, equals b times half plus 3. Oh my goodness. So this would be 6/4 plus half, so plus 2/4 minus 2, 3.5b. So 8/4, 2 minus 2 is 0. So b equals 3. All right. And so the second case would be when x equals negative 3. So 6 times negative 3 squared plus negative 3 minus 2 equals a times 2 times 3 minus 1. So this is 5a. And over here, 9/54 minus 3, 51. (49a), so a is 49/5. Something definitely seems off here. Let's see with the factoring. 2x squared, 5x minus 3, so negative 6. I don't know, something seems wrong there. But that was the idea of that one. I'll have to check that one back later. Let's see if we can get this one to work. So factoring. So it factors into x plus 5, x plus 4. So we have a over x plus 5, b over x plus 4. So if we fraction bust, 3x plus 10, a times x plus 4, plus b times x plus 5. So our first case would be when x is negative 4. So 3 times negative 4 plus 10. The a would be gone because negative 4 plus 4 is 0. So b times negative 4 plus 5. So negative 12 plus 10 is negative 2 equals 1b. So there's our b value. Our other case, when x equals negative 5. So 3 times negative 5 plus 10. A times negative 5 plus 4. So this side we have negative 1a. Negative 15 plus 10 is negative 5. So a equals 5. So our final answer, 5 over x plus 5, our a value, plus our b value over x plus 4. So we'd have negative 4 over x plus 4. I don't know what happened on that one. I'll have to look back and check that one later. So the graphing. There's a vertical asymptote in our denominator, so x equals 2. Horizontal would be at y equals 0, because the bigger power is on the bottom. There's no hole. X-intercept. So I might do a little work down here. So our x-intercept, x comma 0. So when does 0 equal 3 over x minus 2? So if we fraction bust this, we'd have 0 equals 3. So there isn't one. Our y-intercept, 0 comma y, so 3 over 0 minus 2, so negative 3 over 2. So right down here, so that means we have a swoop in this quadrant, and I missed it there. This should end that quadrant. So our domain is all reals, except x can't be 2. Our range is all reals, except y can't be 0. So the next one, the first thing we got to do is factor the bottom. Well, we should actually factor the top too, because we have to see if there's a hole. But this bottom one is pretty easy to factor. The top one, if we factor out a 2, x squared plus 5x plus 6. So it's 2 times x plus 2, x plus 3. So there's a hole at x equals negative 2. There's a horizontal at y equals 2 because those degrees are the same. A vertical in our denominator, so the negative 2 is a hole, so it's at x equals negative 1. So if we graph those, horizontal, vertical, x-intercept. When does 0 equal 2 over x plus 3 over x plus 1? So if we fraction bust, so when does 0 equal 2 times x plus 3? So when does it equal 2x plus 6? So we subtract 6. So x is negative 3. So 1, 2, negative 3. Our y-intercept, so 2 times 0 plus 3 over 0 plus 1. So 2 times 3, 6 over 1 is 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because this was when x was 0. So if we wrote it as a coordinate, and this one, so let's see, we know what quadrants they're in. And we know there's a hole at negative 2. So we put our hole.